Hello and welcome to HUDL Up, the podcast from HUDL, where we're holding space for real stories, shared power and collective change. HUDL works alongside young people, organisations and communities to create fairer systems and better opportunities, not just for young people, but with them. And this podcast is where those stories come to life. Each episode we'll hear from young leaders, practitioners and partners who are reshaping the way decisions are made and how programmes are designed. Together, we'll explore what it takes to build equitable partnerships, share power meaningfully, and create change that lasts. We believe that when young people are involved at every stage, from design to decision-making to delivery, systems become fairer and communities become stronger. So let's huddle up and get started with today's episode. And today's episode is going to focus on the HUDL Debate Club. And co-hosting with me today is Koby. Hi, Koby. Are you ready to ask some questions today?
Yes.
Yeah. And we're also joined by our Debate Master Teian Roberts. Hi, Teian.
Hi, everyone. Really excited to be here.
Hi, Teian. And we also have our lovely debaters, Irene. Hi, Irene.
Hi.
Asha.
Hi.
Hi, Ines.
Hello.
Hello, Elton.
Hi.
Hi. And finally, Ella.
Hi.
Hi. Wonderful to see you all and so lovely to have you on the podcast today. Before we get started, I'm going to ask Teian to set the scene for us. So Teian, as our debate master, can you tell our listeners about Debate Club and how it began? What is our origin story?
Thank you so much for that question, Keji. And it's interesting that you've passed this over to me when I love to describe Debate Club as something that started as your brainchild. It started as just a way to get Koby and his peers into an environment where they could express themselves safely and freely and give them the confidence they needed to tackle some really complex issues. We wanted to figure out how we could work together with the school and the young people to make it happen. We reached out to the school that we now partner with. They were receptive to the idea, and then we were able to make a pilot of Debate Club. We have had these lovely young people who are joining us on the podcast as what I would like to call our OG group. So this is our group of original debaters who've been with us from the beginning and have surpassed my expectations in terms of their speaking skills. They've done so well each term, and the parents have recommissioned the project term after term after term, which has given the young people lots of room to grow. And we hope to eventually expand Debate Club outside of our current partner school. And it's really exciting to see what we do next.
Thanks, Teian. I love how you sort of rounded that up. But what I would like to ask you is, why Debate Club? Like, what is your origin story with Debate Club?
So my origin story starts way donkey years back. I started actually public speaking at the age of 9, where I started competing in 4-H competition. I don't know if it's a kind of club that's still around, but that's where my origins with public speaking started. I really loved using my voice to make a difference and to advocate on issues that affect those around me. And that led to me transitioning from public speaking into debating. Since then, I started doing social debates, political debates, and then competing, which I've enjoyed doing from primary school all the way up to the university level. Once I finished competing on the circuit, I then went to law school and have since been judging here in the UK, in Azerbaijan, back in Jamaica, and now I take my lovely skills to this great group of young people. But debating has been so impactful in my life, and I hope through my coaching now that the young people feel the same way. So that's how I started my journey, and that's why I continue to do it. I really love it so much.
Thank you, Teian. So I'm going to ask the debaters a cheeky question. What's your thoughts of your debate master, Teian? How would you describe your debate master, Teian, to the audience? I'm seeing some smiles. Who wants to go?
Teian is an amazing, fun person to work with, and she's a great teacher. I love her so much, and she's so fun, and she gives the best tips.
Or does she? Who can remember a tip that Teian's given that like they carry to today?
you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. We can tell the story behind that later on in the podcast. So the first thing I would like to do is to kind of welcome you guys to tell us about why did you join Debate Club? Okay, who would like to start us off? Why did you join Debate Club? Go, Kobe.
Well, the reason I joined the Debate Club is because it was one of my mum's many amazing ideas. And I just wanted to give it a try. But I did not know it was going to last a year. And we had countless journeys. So I'm so happy that I did it.
Amazing. Thank you, Kobe. So just to say that it was more than a year. We actually started off as an 8-week pilot program, and then you guys ended up in the program for like 18 months. So, and now we've got like 2 other debate clubs still going on at your school. So yeah, that's where it started from. So thanks, Kobe. Irene, why did you join Debate Club?
I joined Debate Club because I thought it would help me out with my educational things, such as like English. You need to think about like for and against for some topics. And I also thought it would be a great experience to learn how to argue with your peers and also to have some better arguments for your parents at home.
Thank you. Asha, what about you? Why did you join Debate Club?
I think it's a great opportunity and it's pretty fun. I also think that it'll give you life skills that you'll continue to carry on.
Okay, thank you. Ines, why did you join Debate Club?
I joined Debate Club because I thought it would be very fun to do. It would definitely help me a lot with my arguments. And also, I think at the time, I needed like something to help me with my words, like the words I used and like how I used them. And I think Debate Club helped me with that.
Amazing. Thanks, Ines. Elton, how about you? Why did you join Debate Club?
I joined Debate Club because 1, I'd be around my friends. 2, because I feel like it would help me with my confidence a lot and would help me later in life, not with just debating, but with other skills, or if I want to become like a lawyer or something in life.
Amazing. Thanks, Elton. And Ella, finally, what about you? Why did you join Debate Club?
I joined the Debate Club. Initially, I just thought the word was quite unusual in my grammar vocabulary at the time. And I thought it was going to be like a great experience. And also because all of my friends were there as well. It would be a great opportunity to like do together with all of my friends.
Amazing. Thank you. So obviously we all know what happened in Debate Club, but our listeners don't know what happened in Debate Club. So could someone talk through what does a typical Debate Club session look like? Like from the moment you got picked up from class, what happened in Debate Club? Who would like to tell us? Go ahead, Ella.
So first you got picked up, obviously, and then you went to a room. In that room, you would get your debate books out. You could like decorate the books and it would be really fun. Each week, we would either have a speed debate, which is basically when you do a debate, but you can't have any research from any device or anything. And the week after, we would do main debates where we could do research and Tian would tell us the week before, or we would do some skills that we can use in our debates so that our debates become more stronger and we can explain our points more. We also had things like tip of the week and my debate glossary. The debate glossary was basically where Tian would give you a word and then she would explain it to you. And then you would have to write it in your books. And when you wrote in your books, it would help you like understand complex words that you wouldn't learn from a day-to-day basis. And then we also did tip of the week, which was where Tian would get short like scripts and they would say things that would like motivate you, and it would be like loads of famous people have said that bring an influence on society.
Amazing. Thank you, Ellie. You said that so succinctly. Irene, do you want to add something?
So as well as all that, also sometimes we did like research sessions focusing on sometimes one skill. For example, Peel, when we first learned about Peel, which is point, evidence, explain, link. When we first learned about Peel, we learned how to use it and how to put it into our debates. And sometimes we would do research sessions where we would look at
sheets of research and be able to put that into our debates and take that home and then do extra research at home and come next week and do a main debate.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Teian, so just kind of wanting to jump to you in terms of like the word of the day and tip of the week, why do we have that built in to the program?
So a lot of this has to do with the influence that I think having strong oracy can have in terms of giving them the skills that they need to do really well in English when it comes to structuring their essays, in terms of their public speaking, their written and oral speaking skills. I think a really good way to ensure we have strong foundations in that is through the vocabulary. And I figured that the school at the time could do a bit more. So as a club, we took that on as something extra we wanted to include as a way to also help them prepare for their SATs. I feel like once you also develop vocabulary, we are teaching them bigger words, quote unquote, but it's really a easier way to get them to explain really complex topics and forcing them to kind of writing down the meaning, then also giving a sentence. So really demonstrating on the spot that they truly understand. So then they're able to intertwine this into their daily conversations or their creative writing activities, or even now that they've moved on to secondary school. So that was really important to me. In terms of the tip of the week, also really important that they feel motivated even after they've lost the debate. And I also think the tip of the week is important in terms of reminding them sometimes of what the skill we developed that day was. So it depends what we were doing. The tip would be custom to that, whether that's something I've said or like Ella said, like a famous sports person has said. So when I wanted to be shady in terms of their teamwork, I would give them a teamwork quote to try to flag to them that we need to work on our teamwork. And here's a quote as to why. So that's a really nice thing that we were able to do each week. And I think it's really useful to them to look back on sometimes.
Thanks, Tian. That was amazing. Finally, it's my turn to ask a question. Tian, what did you enjoy about Debate Club?
I think my favorite part about Debate Club was you guys watching when you get a topic. Firstly, how you react to whether you are for or against. That was entertaining. And then watching you come up with some really wild arguments, to say the least. That was always really fun. I think just watching you grow from strength to strength in terms of your critical thinking, from arguments like winter is better than summer to should we reduce the voting age to 16. Watching that transition for me was really beautiful. Watching you guys figuring out stuff on your own, I think honestly, it was such a humbling experience, and I'm so proud of you guys and how far you've come in terms of your ability to build arguments. So that alone brought me joy each and every session.
To Debate Club, what did you enjoy about Debate Club? Ines?
What I enjoyed about Debate Club was definitely being around like my friends and being able to do it with them. Because I feel like if it was like with some random people, it wouldn't be as enjoyable. And I think that we had Tian and Keji was very nice as well. Because again, if it was like random people that I've never ever met before, then I think it would be quite strange.
Thanks, Vanessa.
What I personally really enjoyed about Debate Club was, I think, how supportive everybody was. Like, even when I was stuttering on a word or I didn't understand something, then there would always be someone there to help me, especially Keji, Tian, and all my classmates. They would always like help me trying to understand what the word means so they could help. And I think also how entertaining the topics were to speak about.
How about you? What did you enjoy?
What I enjoyed the most was probably the trips and the places we got to go to and what we learned about those places. And I think that was very fun.
Thanks, Asha. Whilst we're on the topic of the trips and places that you got to go to, it would be really great to hear like some examples of the trips that you went on, what you thought of them, and happy to open that to anyone.
My favorite one was when we went to Oxford University because it's like a once in a lifetime experience as well. and we got to see how debate club would be in a university and how universities would look like and all the different parts of it.
Thanks, Ella. Koby, it looks like you're burning to say something.
My personal favourite trip would be Mother. That was really fun. And we all just came together in that really cute room. And it was just amazing. And the party afterwards. And I just really enjoyed the experiences. And when our teacher came, I was even more happy. So I think that's something that I had to shout out.
What did it mean to you to have your teacher? That was an end of term competition, right?
Yeah. I feel like having my teacher there was like, especially as he's like, he tells me I'm great at oracy skills, but just like to let him see how good we were, like as a group, as a collective, it felt amazing. And I'm not trying to show off, but it just felt amazing to show my teacher that we can debate, and that was great. But also just him being there and supporting us, it was amazing.
I hear that. Thank you, Koby. And Irene, do you have a trip that you remember?
I think I have to agree with Ella and Koby. I loved both trips, but I feel like Oxford was definitely one of my favorites, partly because of the interesting facts and just the experience of going around one of the most famous universities in the country. And I thought it was just really fun to learn about the university and have a debate there.
Thank you. Elton, if I remember correctly, you debated someone from Mission 44. Do you remember that competition? Yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So we went to Mission 44. It was a really cool place, I remember, and it was pretty close to the school. And I also remember that it was a really cool building. And it wasn't like the biggest building in the world, but it was like a really modern building. And I remember how there was like the massive table that we were at, and we had a lot of fun debates and stuff. I remember I debated one of the stuff.
And did you win or did you lose?
Pretty sure I won.
I'm pretty sure you won too. I think you did a good job. Amazing. So does anyone else have any other trips or visits that we went on that was just like, yeah, I really enjoyed that?
I liked the Art Hotel one because I think it was just generally a really nice place to go to. And it had like lots of paintings and stuff, which made it look really cool.
Can you tell our listeners what was happening at the Art Hotel?
We had a competition there, and also what I liked about it was like the only competition where we got to dress fancy. So we looked like proper debaters.
Okay, was that important to you?
Yes. Yes.
All right,
because I didn't have to be in my school uniform.
Fair enough. Teian, what about you? What was the memorable or enjoyable trip for you?
I think it's pretty hard to make a decision, but I have to say that Pantheon stands out to me. And I think it's because it was our first proper external trip to a workplace. So at the club, it's really important for us at HUDL as a team to expose the young people to what it's like to have various different careers. Mother is a creative agency, whereas Pantheon is a private equity firm. And at the time, Ella's mom nicely allowed us to use that building. I think it was also really important for them to see that and be a part of that. So that I would say was one of my favorite trips, partly because it was one of the earlier ones. And remembering them so green is always entertaining for me.
Amazing. Thank you. So everyone, I have an interesting question for you. So if you remember earlier, I was saying to Koby that Debate Club was only meant to be an 8-week pilot and we ended up doing it for 18 months. So I'm curious to ask each of you, what made you stay in Debate Club? Who wants to start off?
So I really liked Debate Club. I really liked the experience. I really liked what we were doing. I really liked learning new things, especially new words and new tips. And I feel like if I carried on with that, I would get even further in debating than I was then.
Thanks, Irene. In fact, it would be great to hear from everyone. What made you stay in Debate Club for 18 months? Asha?
I think it's because of how much fun I was having and the amount of progress I was making, learning new words, new vocabulary. I was just making good progress.
Amazing. Thank you, Asha. Ella?
For me, it was honestly everything, but I think we can all agree that it was partly the trips and having loads of friendships in debate club. And it also like boosted my confidence a lot in a short period of time.
Thank you. Ines, what about you?
I think I stayed in debate club because it was genuinely just very, very fun. And adding on to Ella, the trips were very cool and it definitely improved my public speaking. And I know that I still speak quiet, but I think I speak like louder after debate club.
Yeah. Thanks, Ines. Elton, how about you? What made you stay?
I think what made me stay in debate club was how it was such a new concept to me. So I felt like it was a very exciting thing and I knew that I was gonna like it. And I knew that I wouldn't mind staying for 18 months because it's a nice thing to do every week. And I feel like, yeah, it was just a new concept and a cool thing.
Amazing. Koby, over to you. What made you stay in debate club?
What made me stay in the debate club? Well, do you want me to be completely honest? I had many tantrums in the debate club and many, I'm never coming back here again. But even though I stayed, partly because all my friends were there and it really made me speak more confidently outside and inside, especially in stuff that I was doing, like drama. So I feel like debate club helped me with many things that were part of my life. And it kind of made me braver and a better person because who I am today. It's also taught me how to listen way more.
Great. Those are some really good qualities. So Koby, I think you've got a question for the group.
Yeah, this just popped into my head. Is there a motion that we've debated that you still think about and why?
Firstly, actually, Koby, what I'd love to ask is what is emotion? Because I'm sure some of our listeners are thinking, what is emotion?
Well, a debate motion is basically a topic that we argue about in short terms. So it could be anything like why cats are better than dogs. And we argue about it and we separate it teams like proposition or opposition. And we get a point to argue against and say why this is true and why your point is incorrect.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for giving us that. So your question again was, is there a motion that we debated that you still think about today and why? Teian, why don't you start us off?
I must say, Koby has set the scene nicely for this answer. So they know what I'm gonna say. Koby
Do
said
they?
cats versus dogs, but they know my favorite motion was, do dogs belong on public transport? They know I have very strong feelings on this matter. Very strong feelings on this matter, and they were lovely enough to debate it, giving us for and against on this topic. I think it was interesting to explore from an objective perspective, regardless of my personal feelings. But I would say it was the dogs on public transport motion for me. But we've had plenty of even better ones. This is just all about me and my thing with dogs on public transport.
I feel like at some point we should have an episode where we have a speed round just on this motion alone. What do you guys think? Yeah, for our listeners, we've definitely got some nods and some smiles. So Asha, what about you? Is there a motion that you remember or that you still think about today?
I think it probably has to be pasta v pizza because it was one of our first debates and it was just fun, to be honest.
Thanks. Irene, how about you?
So, a motion that I still think about today is under 16s and like social media, if they're allowed on social media. And obviously, I don't know if you guys know, but in Australia, this has been put into action and under 16-year-olds are now not allowed to go on social media. I know social media and I'm under 16 and I thought that it was a really interesting topic to talk about. Because obviously it goes into law. Like it's one of the laws in a country, and I just thought it was a very interesting topic to debate about.
Cool, thank you. Ines, how about you?
I think a motion that I remember was, I think it was one of my first motions, and it was whether dance was aggressive. And then I had very, very, very strong feelings for that topic, that dance was not aggressive, especially because I do dancing, and it was very hurtful to see that my dear colleagues believe that it is. just because they can accidentally hurt someone, and that counts as aggressive.
We can hear the passion in you, Ines. Does anyone else remember that motion? Yeah, who remembers that motion? Does anyone want to add to that?
I fully agree with Ines. Dancing is not aggressive.
Okay, Ella, what about
It's
you?
not.
I would say that it depends on the subject, because if you're like dancing like hardly and like purposely, then that would count as aggressive. But if you're just dancing and you accidentally knock into someone, that's explainable. That's not aggressive.
Ines, would you like to counter that right now?
Dance is not aggressive. That's all I'm going to say. Dance is not aggressive.
Full stop. And Koby, I feel like you want to add something.
I'm going to be honest. I believe dance is aggressive. I was fully on that motion. I remember that day. So much.
Ines?
Koby, the only reason you're saying that is because you hate dance.
Well, keep that out of this. But also, dance can be aggressive because I'm just going to say this. Dance can be very competitive, which does cause competition, which can lead to violence.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. I feel like we could go on for ages, and Teian, you're just smiling in the background. I think it's like bringing memories back for you. So, Elton, I'm going to come to you, and then we're going to move on to the next question, which Koby's going to ask.
I think my favorite motion definitely had to be the summer versus winter one, because I've always known that winter is better. And I won't let anyone change my mind on that. But it also gave me a different perspective of being on a different team and having to advocate for something else when I believe something different. And I think it gave me a new perspective on how summer's better than winter. But my mind still hasn't changed.
Koby, over to you.
A few of us has already mentioned the few skills that we've gained. What skills have you developed? Asha?
I think I've developed how to think quick on my feet. And I think that's a very essential skill because you're going to need it everywhere you go.
Another skill that it's helped is definitely thinking further about the question, not just saying, oh yeah, this is what I think, but sort of explaining it more and really thinking on why that's my opinion.
Irini?
A skill that I've developed, definitely peel. I didn't even know what it was before, and I feel like it has helped me so much, especially in secondary school as well, because in English, you never know what you might have to do, and especially in writing narratives and discussions and debates, it really helps. And I feel like peel is so cool as well. It's just really helpful.
Ella, what about you?
For me, it was manner, matter, and method, because it could also like link to peel, as Irene said, and it can like help structure your like examples and how you explain your debate.
And actually, for our listeners, manner, matter, method, what is that? Who wants to tell us what that is? And if not, I might have to pass this on to Debate Master. Debate Master, could you tell us what is manner, matter, method?
Sure, thanks, Keji. So, manner, matter, method, those are the 3 M's of debating. I'm sure they can recite it in their sleep at this point. It's also how judges tend to grade debaters. So, matter has to do with what they're saying. Method has to do with their internal and external structure. So, the structure of their speech and their teamwork. And their manner is how they're speaking. So we use that to form the foundation of everything we do in the session. So that's why I feel like it's something that they, like I said, can recite in their sleep.
Amazing. Thanks, Teian. And Koby, before we move on to the next question, what skills have you developed through Debate Club?
What skills have I developed? Well, listening. I was not great at listening, and I've still got space to improve, but I feel like the Debate Club's taught me to listen more and to ask more questions in how I'm speaking, instead of just droning on about absolutely anything. So I feel like now I've learned to listen more, especially in secondary school where we're meeting new people. I feel like the Debate Club has really helped me in that part of listening and asking questions.
Oh, thank you. And that actually segues to a question I wanted to ask all of you, which is, how is Debate Club helping you now? Is it helping you now? Irene, do you want to kick us off?
It is definitely helping me now, especially with English in school. Like I said before, recently we had a mock test, for those who know. And I feel like Peel and other debate schools definitely helped me during one of the questions, because we had 2 questions that were quite long. And it definitely helped me during that. I haven't got my results back, but I want them to be good. And I think they will be pretty good because I used my debate skills.
Amazing. Well, all the best with that, Irene. Anyone else? How is Debate Club helping you now? Ella?
Debate Club is definitely helping you with like more confidence and the bravery and courage to talk in front of an audience and do like other things in front of an audience.
Great. Thank you, Ella. Elton?
Debate club is definitely helping me right now, as I in my new school I go to a debate club, and it helped because I have a head start in front of everyone, because it's a sort of a new thing to them, but I kind of know the strings around it. But also I'm less nervous because I've recently just went to this thing called Debate Mate in somewhere around the Embankment area, and I'm gonna go to the House of Parliament soon, so it'll definitely help me to like preparing for that.
That's amazing, Elton. Anyone else? How are you using Debate Club now? How is it helping you?
I think Debate Club has really helped, from the way I project my voice to the way I present myself, because in school when I do drama, I feel more confident and I feel like I'm more active in lessons because of Debate Club.
Amazing. Koby, what about you?
Well, I think I've already touched on the listening and questioning part, but something that has Debate Club has helped me in my new school, well, arguing with teachers.
Okay, tell us more.
So I feel like whenever it's like when I'm talking to a teacher and they say something which I don't agree with, I can now respectfully say, that's not correct, miss, and respectfully get my point across the classroom while being correct. So I feel like Debate Club has really helped me with that.
Amazing. Thank you. Ines, how about you?
Handling my nerves, because I definitely, with public speaking, I feel very nervous and very anxious. And I think debating has helped me get used to it.
Thank you. Koby, do you have a question for the group?
We've all had moments where we've crashed out and got upset. Tell us about a moment that you had to show resilience in Debate Club.
I think there was definitely a time where maybe all of us were maybe not listening to each other and our ideas. And I think that really, there was one specific time, I can't remember when, but it really kicked me off and I really didn't like it. And then I think we did a main debate and I lost. And I think that just really made me angry and annoyed with myself and disappointed in myself, because it was just really hard to get around. But I stayed resilient and I still had a good time with my friends.
Ines, do you have anything to say?
I remember one time we had a competition and then somebody on my team, they learned the wrong point. So they learned it for the other team. And it made me and our team like very upset and annoyed. But I think we stayed resilient because I think we still done well even though we lost.
Koby, how about you?
Well, I've never had a moment. Oh, resilience. Well, when I have to give away my point, definitely. That makes me upset. Very upset. And then I definitely show it in the debate. But yeah, when stuff like that happens, sometimes you have to firm it, Firm it, get yourself a new point, and just, even though you're going to struggle at some point, you should still try your hardest to get back up and help your team. Because if you don't do your best or what you think you can do, it's not just going to let you down, but the whole team.
And actually, talking about teamwork, what did you guys learn about teamwork through Debate Club? Ella?
I learned that you like always have to respect your teammates, and if they have something to say, then you should always like let them speak and not let one person speak, because I think there have been like some incidents where people have not felt like included enough, and then we showed resilience as well, making them say a lot more things.
Thanks, Ella. Koby?
Something we've learned about team building is this is something which I think we had to learn, and it took loads and loads of lessons. But we need to realize that in a team, you don't have to change. You need to change who you are to fit in with the team, but you have to be able to adjust yourself and be able to talk and agree with people in your team, even if you don't like someone or you're having an argument with them. You still need to work hard and keep going through, which I feel like Debate Club really taught us, especially when we had lessons. But we needed to realize that we all needed to just work together. And after loads of debates, we really, if we had an argument, really did solve it. That's happened in many debates. So I feel like working in a team, being able to understand that people have feelings as well, it's something that's going to help you, not just in your points that you're saying, but in life, just with friends, to have a healthy relationship with somebody that you know.
I must say, I think in the whole time, I felt like the recovery period from moments of upset within the team got faster and faster. Teian, what do you think?
Yes, I agree. As they got more used to getting down and getting up back after those moments, I think the recovery period definitely got quicker. Once they got it in their head, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And kind of understanding that sometimes we may not get the team we want or the points we want or the position we want, being able to just accept that and move on and understand that the show must go on, I think was really helpful for them. Watching them getting over things quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, that's what made me know that our babies were really growing up.
Yeah, they have grown up. So does anyone want to add anything about teamwork and what you learned about teamwork before we move on to the next question?
I think one of the most important things about teamwork is to be a team player, because especially in debating, if you're not going to be a team player, then you're going to let the entire team down.
So I think, Teian, we were talking about this the other day. We were like, was there a moment in Debate Club where you were like, aha, I get it. I get debating. I get what's expected of me. Was there a moment for anyone? Irene?
Yes. I think it was probably maybe at the first or maybe the second main debate we ever did. I understood what to do, especially after the first main debate and competition we ever did. I understood what to do and I understood how it worked and what I would be doing for however long I did it. And I did it for 18 months.
Yeah, that's true. Koby, what about you?
Something when debating really just hit me is when Teian told me there's a point where it's just arguing and telling us that we're just saying why we don't agree with a point. And that's when Teian told me about rebuttal. That day, I knew I was meant to argue. I knew it was my destiny. I was so happy that day. And that's when I figured Debate Club's amazing. And it's something I want to do. 18 months later, look at me now.
Amazing. Anybody else? Did anyone else have any moments where they were like, I get this? Or were there any surprises? Teian, was there a turning point for you when you were like, they get it, they got this?
It was probably when we won at South Hampstead. Because I think while we were internal, I knew that they were getting it. I knew they were good. But once we won at South Hampstead, I felt like we could conquer anything. So that was my moment where I was like, yep, they're ready. They're rearing. They're ready to go. Just for context, South Hampstead is a girls' school. They host a competition for primary and prep school students, and they get to compete against other kids their age. And it was their first time, and they made me so proud.
Thanks, Jan. And actually, does anyone remember the very first competition at Southampton, and how did it feel like walking into that space? Were there any nerves? Koby, do you want to start off?
There were definitely nerves. We were surrounded by private school kids who've done Debate Club for a much longer time than us. Definitely nerves. But just being in those, just being able to see everybody, my friends, my debate mates, my colleagues, it made me braver. And at the end, when we realized that I got high in the debates, I was really happy. And it made me realize that I don't have to be a private school kid or have years of debate club to be good at it. I just needed to have resilience and go on and still practice. And the most important thing, have fun, be creative, get your points across. That's what debate club really is. It's having fun and learning.
Thank you, Koby. Anyone else have any kind of memories or feelings about that first competition? Go ahead, Ines.
Remember on my first competition there, I was feeling extremely nervous and anxious because, like Koby said, they were private school kids. Their uniform already looked very posh and stuff. So I think that definitely made me very nervous. But I think me and my team at the time, we were definitely able to push through. And I think we done well.
Yeah, I remember I was in the room watching you actually, Ines. That reminds me. Irene.
So I felt really nervous as well. Also because we had never done something like that before. I feel like it was an amazing experience, but those kids had a lot more experience than us. Well, some of the kids had a lot more experience than us at the time. And I remember thinking, like, their techniques, I remember thinking, what? I was really confused about what they were saying, and sometimes I didn't understand their points, but I pushed through and I learned loads of new things from that competition.
Cool. Thanks, Irene.
Do you think more young people should have access to the debate club, and why?
Seeing some nods. Ella, do you want to start us off?
I think young people should have access to the debate club because it helps with a lot of confidence, especially for like very shy people. And also, there's quite a few people in England being bullied, and debate club would help them stand up to their bullies, finally stop getting bullied.
Thanks, Ella.
Elton, do you have anything to say?
I think that young people should have access to debate clubs because this sort of relates to Ella's point, but if they need to speak out about something, if they are too scared to like say something or like tell maybe a teacher about something, then it really helps them kind of sort of get that point across and be able to build that confidence to, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do what's right.
Thanks, Elton. Asha?
100%. I think you should definitely try it out. It's probably one of the greatest decisions I've made, and it's just great for you because, one, it teaches you skills that you're gonna keep on using, and two, if it's not for you, then you can leave.
Thanks, Asha. That was really good. Ines, what about you?
Yes, and yes. Young people should definitely at least try it out because, like Ella said, many people, they're getting bullied and it'll help them like stand up for themselves. And then many people, they also like they've got things like stage fright. So I think debating will help you to public speak in front of like a big audience or things like that. And then also, if you want to become like something like a prime minister when you're older, debating can help with that. So you just get used to speaking in front of a lot of people.
Thank you. And we have a member of the team who definitely aspires to become Prime Minister. I'm going to mention her name now, Idira. We all know. She definitely took the opportunity to kind of use all of her public speaking experience throughout Debate Club. Koby, what about you? Do you think more young people should have access to Debate Club?
Well, I definitely think more people should have access to Young Debate Club, but not just debate club in general, because debate club is an amazing thing and it's very people do it for very expensive. So I think everybody should have a chance to at least try debate club, even if you're not going to do it. Like schools should add it more as a club because it does help with confidence. Even if you don't want to become a lawyer or king of the world, there's still so much things that you can learn from debate club, and I really feel like those people should have the chance to do it. And when people don't have the chance to be confident, they don't get the chance to be heard, which I feel like every child should have a voice. So I think debate club can really help for you to be more confident, stay grounded, listen, ask questions, be curious.
Thank you. And Teian, as our debate master, do you feel like more young people should have access to debate clubs?
I think absolutely there's a desperate need for more debate clubs, especially now as we're dealing with the rise of artificial intelligence. We find that a lot of our youth are relying more on it to do the thinking for them. Debating directly contradicts that by forcing our youth to think on their feet and to think for themselves. It allows them to have global perspectives and a really, really varied way of thinking about things. Earlier, Irene mentioned that, the social media thing in Australia has come into effect. That's a skill that she built in Debate Club to get used to the news, to research, to keep track of current affairs. That's a really important skill. Elton mentioned as well, one thing that he was able to do was to learn how to deal with different perspectives. Even though he wasn't changing his mind, he was open to hearing different perspectives. And I think that's really important. And we need to curate spaces to allow for that thinking and to take young people out of echo chambers so we can give them a more positive place to be and better things to do with their time. So yeah, I think absolutely we need debate clubs in more places.
Amazing. Thank you. And then finally, before we close up today, is all of you have now joined Huddle as junior associates, and you're our first group of junior associates. So not only were you our OGs for Debate Club, you're now our OGs for junior associate. So I'd love to know what made you want to be a junior associate. And for those of you who've already started attending sessions and supporting our year 5 and year 6 group, how are you finding it? And I know Irene, Asha, Ines, and Koby, you have done sessions, so it would be great to start off with you guys. So why did you decide to become a junior associate and how are you finding it? And Asha, if we can start with you.
I think it's good to pass on the knowledge that we have to younger ones so they can grow up as debaters and become the best that they can be. Now I feel like that's me when I was younger. So it feels good to see how they progress and what happens.
Thanks, Asha. Ines, how about you?
I decided to become a junior associate to help out and see how the younger kids they're now doing. I'm finding it very fun, and I think I went to help out with the year 5s, and I was like, wow, these guys are good, because they were very good. I was definitely surprised, and I also think that they could have been better than even some of the debaters that we had.
Fair enough. Irene, how about you? Why did you decide to be a junior associate and how are you finding it?
I think I became a junior associate to, again, help out the younger ones who are learning debate and who are trying to get better and are going for their goal like we all did, and we all hit that goal. And I feel like sometimes I see myself in them. I don't know if you guys have seen yourselves in them and what situation you are at where they are. We've all kind of had days, and they will have those like days where you just can't do it, and you will not like that day where you debate, you will feel really disappointed. However, you will have better days, and I feel like they will have those days and they will have good days. And I feel like I joined because I wanted to see them grow.
Amazing. And Koby, what about you?
Well, I am happy that new generations are doing debate club, and I want to teach them. And to be really honest, I want to teach them to be better than us because we had this opportunity, and now I feel like it's their turn. And when an opportunity is gonna come up, because today the head of year 7 told me to come back and join a debate club. So these opportunities are gonna come anywhere. So just having this in your tool set is amazing because when you're older, you want to be like, you know what? I did debate club when I was younger. That just being able to have that, it's going to help you so much in life, in everywhere you go. And I've still got so much more things to do in life. And there's so much things that debate club will help me with. And I'm so excited to help the younger ones to become great debaters.
Thank you. And Ella, actually, I remember you were the first associate to go into school and actually help. So Ella, how was your experience?
My experience was very good. I wanted to be a junior associate because I wanted to help younger children experience the same thing that we do and help it experience them in their everyday life. I found it really fun, and I think they were really good. And they definitely have more knowledge than we have, which is really good because that means that they can build a lot more things on.
Amazing. And Elton, you're also a junior associate and you're going to be judging a competition, your first one. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling personally very excited to judge the competition, and also think that it's a really good opportunity to be a junior associate because you can help the new year fives, you can help the new year sixes, you can give them information on how to be better at debating. You can really see how much they progress over time. And I feel like it's a really cool thing to see that.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. So we have now used up all of our time in today's episode, and I've even skipped a couple of questions, and there's so many questions I wanted to ask you guys. And after that dance debate, I definitely feel we need to have like a live debate online. We'll definitely be inviting you guys back on. So I want to just say a massive thank you to all of you for joining us for this episode of Huddle Up, and a huge thank you to our guests for sharing their stories and their thoughts. If you'd like to learn more about Huddle, explore our work with the Debate Club, or get in touch about involving young people in your programs, strategy, or organisation, you'll find links in the description of this episode. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening now, and join us next time as we continue holding space for real stories, shared power, and collective change. See you next time.